Fleetwood Mac, multi-platinum recording artists, and rock and roll superstars. Now the Mac is back with a new album, a new tour, and a whole new sound.
Got more balls, I think,
VH1 hits the road with the band as they tackle the unanswered questions of their past.
I can't say it's closure, but I would say it's the opening of closure.
We'll see the band backstage, in the studio, and in the Raw.
No beating off allowed.
Mick Fleetwood unveils his never-before-seen home movies.
Literally, it was like the basement tapes,
Stevie Nicks throws open the door of her closet, full of famous fashions.
I wore black because, as we all know, black makes you look skinny.
Say you will, give me one more chance.
And Lindsey Buckingham gives a first look at his documentary about the making of the new album, Say You Will.
He's gonna hate it because I wrote it.
This is VH1 All Access, Fleetwood Mac.
Are you on there, VH1?
We're doing a little sound check.
Hang on.
Just make sure the guitar is nice and loud.
Morning, boss.
As I hear the voice, I don't hear the guitar so much.
That's great.
You feel ready?
We're ready.
Seeing Fleetwood Mac gearing up for a concert these days is like opening a musical time capsule. It's been almost 3 decades since they first ruled the music world.
You can go your own way.
Through the years, this musical family has navigated the ups and downs of fame and been tested by love, money, drugs, and infighting.
I don't want to do this anymore. This is just too hard.
And the band played on. It was crazy, and there were stories we can't even tell you on TV.
I feel like this is just the same.
Could it be any harder?
The fact that Fleetwood Mac is back together at all is a testament to the power of their music and their faith in each other.
These are people that have been absolutely in love with one another.
The reunited band's first album of new material in 16 years is called Say You Will. Peacekeeper is their first single.
Peacekeeper, take your time.
While the sound is new, some things remain the same.
He's gonna hate it because I wrote it.
And this time, cameras were rolling for the whole process.
He's gonna hate it. He's gonna think, oh, everybody wants it to be Stevie's thing.
I didn't know that it would still be as volatile as it has always been in the
It's
past.
not because you wrote it, it just has a certain feel to it.
What did it cause? In my mind, it caused an incredible record to be made.
The band's fifth member, keyboardist, and sometime songwriter Christine McVie decided to sit this one out.
Did you see that card from Christine?
She just didn't like the touring, and she didn't like living in LA. I think the quakes got to her. She was just nervous.
Just a little flowers and a little card from her. Just love the album. Wishing you guys all the best.
Class act.
With Christine out of the mix, the band would break out of their mold and explore new musical territory.
Got more balls, I think,
And it gave us a more aggressive, masculine, if you will, sound.
The good news is her leaving forced Lindsey and I to go back to really singing together like we did before we ever met Chris and John and Mick.
Well, that was good.
As the Say You Will tour kicked off, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham shared a tender kiss on stage. It's a touching reminder that for nearly 30 years, Fleetwood Mac has endured as a family, through both good times and bad. But this family's dramas have been played out in the public from the very beginning.
We are an intense group of people.
Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks hooked up with Fleetwood Mac in 1974. The band's self-titled debut album hit stores in 1975, selling 1 million copies. It was during the recording of their follow-up album, Rumors, that these 5 musicians discovered that making music can get messy.
Rumors was when everything got really crazy.
Married for 8 years, John and Christine were going through a divorce. Mick was splitting from his wife, and Stevie and Lindsay were in the middle of their own bitter breakup. Throw in drugs and alcohol, and it was a combustible mixture that took a shattering emotional toll on everyone.
Are you kidding me? There's no way this bunch can possibly get through this and make music.
We finished it. They nearly finished us.
A rather famous couple of balls you might recognize off the Rumors cover.
Mick still wears the signature accessory on stage, a tangible reminder that despite all they've been through, the band has always had their music.
I love this band, I'm proud of this band, and I'm proud of what we're all doing.
Mick Fleetwood may be proud, but he's also superstitious.
If I see things like that open, I will stop and I'll go like that.
Before every show, he roams the halls making sure all the cases are safe and secure. But last year, Mick opened a dusty old case of his own. He discovered a treasure trove of lost memories. 17 hours of never-before-seen Fleetwood Mac home movies.
It ended up in a basement. Literally, it was like the basement tapes, you know.
It was footage shot in 1977 by both the film crew and Mick himself. Dusty reels documenting Fleetwood Mac's trip to Japan during the Rumors tour.
He filmed and filmed and filmed, and we never saw any of it for years.
Mick's cameras captured the raw emotion just months after Rumors' chaotic recording sessions.
Is it difficult working with your ex-husband? No, it's, you know, we had hunky dinkum dorum, as I say.
Stevie and Lindsay were still reeling from the breakup of their 5-year relationship. On stage, the tension was obvious. It wasn't all madness and sadness. There were spontaneous moments of genuine fun.
There's a shot of Stevie. She'd be out there talking to the road crew and running out and being mischievous.
I can't exactly, there's not really one word to do.
It definitely speaks to a different time.
The Whirlwind Tour ended in Hawaii, where the band came together to help Mick cope with a devastating personal crisis.
This is when Mick's father was dying, and we all went down for a sunrise, and everybody was there at 6 in the morning to see it. And so it was Mick's family, and all of us were there, and Mick's dad was very sick, so it was very sad.
Now, nearly 3 decades later, the band looks back on those days with a clear head and a whole new perspective.
A little moment in time that at the height of that whole Rumors thing, it really speaks to how different things were.
While Mick's film brought back memories of days gone by, Stevie Nicks just has to look into her closet to recall the road she's traveled.
This is my dressing room.
How does it feel being a sex symbol in rock and roll? I don't know, ask Stevie Nicks.
When I first joined Fleetwood Mac, I met a designer whose name was Margie Kent. Basically, I told her that I wanted to look like a character from Great Expectations or Tale of Two Cities.
Stevie Nicks style. She's a romantic, bless her heart.
For instance, this was the beginning top, and you can kind of see from the tiny little back how little it was. This is not the original stand back cape. This is the original stand back cape. It's now so old it can't be worn anymore because it's really actually falling apart. Rock on, Goldust woman. Here is the new Goldust woman cape because the old Goldust woman cape is starting to fall apart. I tend to stick with black because it's just much, much easier for me. You know, people, the whole thing about me being a witch is like, you know, well, no, that's not really the reason why I wore black. I wore black because, as we all know, black makes you look skinny. Da-da. As soon as I start wearing colors, I start to have to be worrying, does the gold dust cape go with the purple outfit? You know, or does the, you know, if you're wearing red and white, does this look like you're in the USC marching band? As I get older, I don't want to think about what I'm wearing.
On the Say You Will tour, Stevie sometimes changes 3 to 4 times in a show.
It is very frightening when you're only halfway through a change and the song is starting. Yeah, and you're like screaming, I have to be out there, you know, I can't be, the song's starting.
Coming up, all that's new is old again as Fleetwood Mac hits the studio to record their new album.
This is not about art. This is about finances.
And Lindsey Buckingham's Labor of Love, a behind-the-scenes documentary that goes deep inside Fleetwood Mac's inner sanctum.
I knew you would like it. When I was called and asked about it. All right, well then think of something else.
Plus backstage on opening night,
I feel like one of those rats on a wheel or something.
as Mick and the band bear all.
It's a form of self-degradation, I think.
When All Access Fleetwood Mac continues.
16 candles and risky business.
To be able to come back and rejoin these people and have the chemistry still be there without all the other stuff.
After the phenomenal success of Rumors in 1977, Fleetwood Mac went on to record 9 subsequent albums. But it's taken 16 years for them to reunite for a new studio album. Lindsey Buckingham wasn't going to let this moment go unrecorded. He brought on a film crew to capture every moment of the historic sessions for a behind-the-scenes documentary.
Maybe we were together in another life.
It humanizes the whole trip in a way that can only be seen visually. What is that?
Spirit catcher.
Spirit catcher.
The film crew was there every day. From the day I got out of the car where we made this record until today.
The cameras would capture every conflict.
He's gonna hate it!
If I'm the one who's going to be perceived as the troublemaker, so be it. Why should it be any different now?
And every moment of comic relief. Humor was necessary to break the tension. The band hasn't recorded a full studio album since their bitter split following 1987's Tango in the Night.
It's the conclusion of all the denial that we had to deal with in terms of our personal lives.
The Say You Will sessions began in the summer of 2001 in a rented mansion in the heart of Los Angeles.
The worst thing was the drive. You got to drive bloody 405 for an hour and a half.
The band bonded for half a year, recording new material written by both Stevie and Lindsey.
It was totally about Fleetwood Mac. It was like you guys weren't there, but you were there, in fact.
What you don't realise, Steve, we've just spent the last 6 months trying not to be ourselves.
As always, the music and the confrontations were fueled by emotion.
And if you haven't noticed, I am so thrilled to, I don't even want to, it just made me cry.
I thought maybe we would have settled down a little bit more, and we're older, so we're going to be cooler and calmer, and we're not going to go to those places that we have gone always. And in fact, that's not true. I knew you wouldn't like it. When I was called and asked about it. All right, well then think of something else.
I've known Stevie since I was 16, so there's a lot of history there.
I think if I was 80 years old and he was 79 years old, I'll be on my walker and I'll be swinging my walker at him.
I cannot say I have an ally in the band right now, no.
The video intimately documents the latest musical chapter for a legendary and timeless rock and roll band. It also unflinchingly records the words and actions of 2 former lovers moving towards compromise and reconciliation, but most of all, friendship.
I can't say it's closure, but I would say it's the opening of closure.
Can we start playing soon?
Taking Say You Will from the studio to the stage required weeks of work to get the sound and the technical details just right.
Letting go of the old is always hard, my man.
Mick Fleetwood has let go of a lot from the old days, especially his hard partying ways. And he still hasn't lost his status as the band's most eccentric member.
No beating off allowed.
Mick's stripping down in order to suit up in the high-tech synthesizer vest he plays on the new tour.
It's a form of self-degradation, I think. I'm missing it like crazy. This is what I have to do super quick. Get the vest on, and then the vest has another pad that goes down in the crutch. Behind the pad is a huge wad of sponge, and if that sponge is not in place, Lord have mercy on my wicked soul. It's when I get a chance to play a guitar.
That's Lindsey Buckingham's job. He travels with 16 guitars, hundreds of watts of amplifier power, and absolutely no picks.
I think when we joined Fleetwood Mac, they sort of tried to get me to use a pick because they thought it was more effective, and obviously I resisted that. It just works. And so it becomes, you know, something which I can call my own to a certain degree. That's the sound check, is it?
Yes, it is. Dismissed.
Coming up, rehearsals are over, it's showtime. Fans get their first look at the new Fleetwood Mac.
I gotta say, this room looks pretty big.
There's nights when it's just, geez, does it get any better than this?
And the band feels the heat as they prepare to play their new songs for the first time live.
New songs aren't easy to play, and new songs sometimes aren't easy for the audience.
When All Access Fleetwood Mac continues. Hear more from the band. Buy their CDs and test your... With just hours to go before Fleetwood Mac kicks off their 2003 Say You Will tour, the nervous energy is building backstage.
I feel like one of those rats on a wheel. Normally I go pacing up and down corridors.
I gotta say, this room looks pretty big. Just make sure the guitar is nice and loud.
But there are a few last-minute details to be worked out before the doors open and thousands of fans come streaming into the arena.
Ah! What's left of my hair? What's left of my hair is gone.
Time for last-minute fittings.
I feel like I'm about to be tortured in Braveheart.
And predictions.
Probably 3 shows in, these nails will all be gone. They'll all be shorn off.
It's the first time that Fleetwood Mac has played in public together for 5 years.
You're asking for trouble, buddy.
And the first time they'll perform music from Say You Will for a live audience.
Dead man walking.
They're worried about the songs, how they'll play them, and how fans will react.
New songs aren't easy to play, and new songs sometimes aren't easy for the audience. So that takes a little while, and you're nervous about it.
There's only 10,000 when we last saw it, but there's a full house now. This is good.
But when the lights go down and the roar of the crowd fills their ears, the amazing journey of Fleetwood Mac, some 30 years in the making, comes full circle.
It's Fleetwood Mac.
Jeez, does it get any better than this?
Maybe we were together
we maybe in some ways may be making the best music of our lives, but what's under that is the tenderness and the care that still exists and somehow managed to survive through all of those times and through all of the twists and turns that we have taken.
Goodbye, VH1.
Now I say goodbye to you.
No more coming in now.
Then at 11, Eddie Murphy.